I'm very excited to have not one, but two guests tonight to discuss same-sex marriage. We've discussed this issue on Outlook Video before, but never from a religious point of view. And I'm pleased to introduce two members of the religious community, Pastor B. Chun of Christ the Good Shepherd Lutheran Church, and Senior Pastor Mike Ellard of the Metropolitan Community Church of San Jose. Welcome to both of you.
Thank you for having us.
Well, let me get right to it. Same-sex marriage and religion, not always a typical, don't always reside together typically. What do you have to say about that?
And should, Tom, because marriage and religion, same-sex marriage is about marriage. And marriage and religion, one of the foundational stories of our faith, the very beginning, one of the oldest stories is how God made a human being, and then God said, it's not good for that human being to be alone. I will make a helpmate for that human being. And the Hebrew word for helpmate is etzel. And etzel is just a helper. It's not a man or a woman. It's just another person to be, or it doesn't even have to be a person. It's a helper to be with that. So from the very beginning, we have this foundation of people being together, people being created in such a way that they live in community. And so, yes, I think absolutely religion, marriage should go together. The tragedy is that when it comes to same-sex marriage, they often don't go together. And so thank you for letting me have an opportunity tonight to say that there are many faith communities out there, and perhaps more than people think, who do say and think that absolutely, yes, same-sex marriage and religion, what's wrong with that?
Great. Regarding AB 849, which the governor recently vetoed, you were both active, and I wanted to ask you, Mike, what specifically you did in that fight.
Well, both B and I have been active on the issues around same-sex marriage for a while now. And one thing that was particularly notable was when AB 849 was passed by both houses of the California State Legislature, B and I sort of said to each other, this is important. We should do something about this. And so I sat down on one Wednesday and I sent an email to some other ministers that I knew and said, we are writing this letter to the governor, and we would like you to be co-signers, encouraging the governor to sign AB 849. And we limited our scope. We kept it to just ministers and religious leaders within Santa Clara County. And within 9 days, 41 ministers had signed on.
Wow, that's a great testament to your work.
And I think one thing that's really important to note about this is that ministers and churches don't leap into things like this. And the fact that so many people were willing to sign on so quickly indicated that there are a great number of churches, synagogues, and other places of worship where people are past being ready for this. They're saying it's high time, and we're not going to let the voices of bigotry and homophobia appear to be the only religious voices out there. We are here to say that we fully support same-sex marriage rights, and we're willing to say it loudly and publicly.
That's great. What do you say to somebody who says that legalizing same-sex marriage is just too expensive?
Well, I know that the General Accounting Office of Congress was commissioned by the Republicans to do a study as to what it would cost if same-sex marriage were legalized. And what they found was that it would actually save the United States $1 billion.
Billion with a B.
$1 billion with a B. And,
a lot of money.
And this is really remarkable because the question is not what would it cost to legalize same-sex marriage. The question is how much are people willing to pay in order to continue discrimination? And in a time when people in leadership are talking about cutting Medicare and cutting Medicaid and drilling in ANWR, to say that we have to cut all these things out of our budget, but we can still afford to spend $1 billion on discriminating against some of our citizens and making them into second-class citizens. I think people really have to ask what's going on with that.
B, tell us quickly, you had some experience in this fight also.
Well, I was very honored when Michaelino proposed the original bill, AB 1819, that he asked me to come to Sacramento and testify in front of the assembly. And I was glad because as a pastor, I feel very passionate about it. I can do something that will benefit the members in my church, in my community. But I also had a personal reason, and that is that I happen to be married to a man from Hong Kong. So ours is a mixed-racial marriage. And only in 1948 did mixed-racial marriages become legal in the state of California. And the state of California back then was a leader in doing that, and the other states of the United States followed later. But I am so blessed that I am free to be married to the one I love, and I feel like every human being should be free to marry the ones they love.
Great. And on that note, we're out of time, believe it or not. So if you would look at your screen and see the contact information for, if you want more information on the churches and the good work that these folks are doing, check your screen. Thank you both for being here.
Thanks for having
It's
me.
a fascinating topic, and we want to have you on again if we can.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.